From the earliest flicker of human consciousness, a profound need emerged to understand, to organize, to quantify the world. Before numbers were etched on clay tablets or precision scales balanced with intricate weights, humanity's first instruments of measure were, quite simply, themselves and the natural world around them. Imagine a hunter-gatherer millennia ago, traversing vast plains. How far was the next waterhole? Not miles, but perhaps a day's walk, a primal unit born from sheer endurance. The human foot, the length of an arm, the span of a hand. These were the original, most accessible rulers, inherently variable, yet universally understood within a small community. A cubit, derived from the elbow to the longest fingertip, became a common, if inconsistent, measure in many early cultures, practical for constructing simple shelters or dividing materials. These bodily units, though inexact, allowed rudimentary communication regarding spatial relationships. Time, too, was an elusive concept, yet vital for survival. The relentless march of the sun across the sky marked the passage of a day, its zenith indicating midday, its setting signaling the end of activity. The cyclical phases of the moon dictated the month, guiding critical activities like planting and harvesting. The changing seasons, observed with keen ancestral wisdom, defined the year, a fundamental rhythm of life. Shadows cast by rudimentary markers or the careful observation of constellations provided the first attempts at temporal precision, enabling communal gatherings or predicting crucial animal migrations. Quantity and weight presented similar challenges. How many berries were enough for the tribe? Often a simple handful. How much precious grain was needed for planting? Measured by the capacity of a gourd or a woven basket. The weight of common, consistent natural objects, such as a particular seed or a small stone, could become a rudimentary fundamental unit. The carob seed, remarkably uniform in its mass, famously gave rise to the carat, a unit still used today for weighing gemstones. These initial approximations, though seemingly crude by sophisticated modern standards, were not arbitrary. They were born of immediate necessity, of direct, visceral interaction with the environment, and of an innate human drive to impose order on existence. This primal act of quantification, using the body's innate scales and Earth's immutable rhythms, laid the unseen groundwork for every complex system of measurement that followed. It was the very first invisible grid, essential for early communication, for basic trade, for constructing shelters, and ultimately for the very survival and foundational evolution of our species. Without these fundamental intuitive steps, the grand edifices and intricate societies of future civilizations could never have been conceived, let alone built into reality. While early societies relied on the body's approximations and natural rhythms, complex civilizations demanded new precision. Nowhere was this more evident than in ancient Egypt, a civilization built on monumental ambition and unparalleled organization. Here, the inconsistent cubit of individual arm lengths evolved into the sophisticated royal cubit. This wasn't merely an arm length, it was a meticulously standardized unit, approximately 52.3 centimeters long, derived from the pharaoh's own forearm. embodied in finely crafted measuring rods of granite or wood, often inscribed with subdivisions. These master cubits were housed in temples. Periodically checked against a primary standard, they ensured unwavering uniformity across the kingdom. This standardization transformed potential chaos into coordinated action. Consider the gargantuan task of constructing the Great Pyramid of Giza. Without a universally accepted and consistently applied unit like the royal cubit, its precise angles, perfectly leveled courses, and symmetrical grandeur could never have been achieved. Every block cut, foundation laid, and chamber designed adhered to this singular measure. Scribes and overseers, armed with their cubit rods, ensured thousands of workers were literally on the same page, building structures defying millennia. Beyond architecture, the royal cubit was the backbone of Egypt's agricultural prowess. The annual Nile flooding necessitated precise land surveys to re-establish property boundaries and calculate fair taxes. Surveyors, or rope stretchers, used ropes marked in cubit lengths to meticulously remeasure fields, ensuring equity and preventing disputes. This systematic management fueled the empire's granaries. The intricate designs of temples, city layouts, and daily commerce all relied on this invisible grid. From the grandest monument to the smallest commodity, the royal cubit underscored the pharaoh's power and the empire's order. It demonstrated how a single standardized unit underpinned an entire civilization, allowing it to build, farm, and thrive on an unprecedented scale, moving beyond primal approximations to calculated imperial precision. From the Nile's precise cubits, the world turned its gaze to the sprawling ambition of the Roman Empire, where measurement became an instrument of conquest and control. As Rome expanded, conquering vast territories from Britannia to Egypt, the need for standardized units scaled with its imperial reach. The Romans, masters of engineering and administration, understood that an empire without a common language of measure was an empire destined for inefficiency and fragmentation. They inherited and adapted systems, but crucially, they imposed uniformity. The Roman pes, or foot, typically around 29.6 centimeters, formed the foundation for their linear measurements. 5 paides made a passus, a double pace, and 1,000 passus constituted a mille passus, our modern mile. This wasn't merely an academic exercise, it was the blueprint for an entire civilization. Military engineers, armed with their groma and measured ropes, laid out legionary camps with astonishing geometric precision. Every tent, every road, every fortification adhered to strict, repeatable dimensions, ensuring rapid deployment and tactical coherence. Their famous road network, an arterial system binding the empire, was a testament to this standardization. Roads were measured, marked with milestones, and constructed to uniform widths, facilitating the swift movement of legions, administrators, and trade. Beyond distance, weight was equally critical. The Roman libra, our pound, was a universal standard for commerce, taxation, and the provisioning of armies. Whether it was grain for a garrison, silver for tribute, or exotic goods traded across the Mediterranean, the consistent libra ensured fair exchange and prevented disputes, fostering trust across diverse markets. Even liquid and dry goods like wine and wheat were portioned out using standardized vessels like the amphora and modius. This invisible grid of Roman measures underpinned its monumental architecture, its advanced cartography, and its legal framework. It allowed legions to march across continents, merchants to trade without fear of deception, and engineers to build structures that endure to this day. The Roman Imperial Scales didn't just quantify the world, they imposed order, extended authority, and literally paved the way for an empire that shaped history. From the structured, standardized world of the Roman Empire, Europe plunged into a chaotic tapestry of localized power and fragmented governance. As the imperial grip weakened, the universal standards that once underpinned vast trade networks and grand constructions dissolved, replaced by a bewildering array of disparate systems. The medieval period, often romanticized for its chivalry and castles, was, in terms of measurement, a quagmire of confusion, fostering widespread suspicion and hindering progress. Feudal lords, independent towns, and even powerful guilds each asserted their own authority, and with it their own unique standards for length, weight, and volume. The foot in one village might be subtly yet significantly different from the foot in a neighboring town, varying by inches. The pound used for grain could differ from the pound for wool, and both might vary from market to market. A bushel of wheat in Normandy bore little resemblance to a bushel in Saxony, and a pint in England was not the same as a pint in Paris, leading to constant disputes and distrust. Imagine a merchant attempting to navigate this labyrinth, buying cloth by one ell in Flanders only to sell it by a completely different aune in France, or acquiring wine by a ton in Bordeaux only to find the volume disputed in London. The simple act of commerce became a perilous gamble, rife with potential for fraud and disagreement. This inconsistency wasn't merely an inconvenience, it was a fundamental impediment to economic growth, stifling interregional trade and complicating fair taxation. Markets buzzed not with the hum of efficiency, but with the cacophony of endless haggling over quantities and the clatter of scales being challenged. Measuring instruments themselves, rods, scales, and vessels, lacked uniformity and often accuracy, contributing to the widespread uncertainty and the feeling of being perpetually cheated. The lack of a common, agreed-upon language of measure created an invisible, yet insurmountable barrier between communities. It was a veritable tower of measures, where every dialect spoke a different numerical truth, hindering innovation, fostering isolation, and deepening the mistrust between regions. This fragmentation would persist for centuries, a stark testament to the profound impact that the absence of a universal, rational grid could have on civilization, trapping Europe in an era of localism until the burgeoning scientific age began to demand order from this chaos. The Enlightenment had ignited a fervent desire for order, logic, and universal understanding. But as the 18th century drew to a close, the world remained shackled by a bewildering cacophony of measurements. Nowhere was this more acutely felt than in pre-revolutionary France, a nation groaning under the weight of thousands of local units, each region, town, and even guild clinging to its own arbitrary standards for length, weight, and volume. This fragmentation fueled endless disputes, hampered trade, and stood as a stark symbol of the old regime's inefficiency and inequity. Then came the Revolution, a cataclysmic upheaval that sought to dismantle every vestige of the past and build a new society founded on reason. Amid the guillotines and the grand declarations, a radical idea took root, a universal system of measurement, free from royal decree or local whim. In 1790, Charles-Maurice de Talleyrand-Périgord proposed that the National Assembly adopt a new system based on a natural, unchanging standard. The task fell to France's most brilliant minds within the Academy of Sciences, who embraced the challenge with revolutionary fervor. They envisioned the system not merely practical, but philosophical, a measure for all time, for all people. Their audacious solution was the meter, defined as 1/10,000,000th of the distance from the North Pole to the equator, along the meridian passing through Paris. This monumental undertaking required a 7-year survey, with astronomers Jean-Baptiste Delambre and Pierre Méchain meticulously triangulating the arc from Dunkirk to Barcelona. Simultaneously, the kilogram was conceived as the mass of 1 cubic decimeter of water, and the decimal system became its unifying principle, simplifying calculations beyond anything previously imagined. On December 10, 1799, the metric system was formally enshrined in French law, a testament to humanity's enduring quest for precision and unity. On December 10, 1799, the metric system was formally enshrined in French law, a testament to humanity's enduring quest for precision and unity. Despite its logical elegance, the metric system's journey to global dominance was far from instantaneous or unopposed. Born from the crucible of revolution, its initial adoption extended only as far as France's political influence reached. Many nations, deeply entrenched in centuries of customary units, viewed the decimal system with suspicion, seeing it as a foreign imposition rather than a universal boon. Trade continued to be a chaotic tangle of inconsistent measures, impeding international commerce and perpetuating the very inefficiencies the metric system sought to abolish. However, the inherent advantages of a coherent, decimal-based system slowly began to win over skeptics. Scientists and academics across Europe recognized its potential to standardize research and facilitate groundbreaking discoveries. By the mid-19th century, its adoption started to accelerate, driven by practical necessity and intellectual consensus. International scientific conferences like the influential Paris Conference of 1875 led to the signing of the Meter Convention, establishing the International Bureau of Weights and Measures, BIPM. This landmark treaty created a permanent infrastructure for global metrology, housing the international prototypes of the meter and kilogram, and promoting worldwide uniformity. One by one, nations began to transition. Germany embraced it for industrialization, Japan for its modernization efforts, and various South American countries for their burgeoning trade networks. while the United States, alongside a few others, retained its customary units. The metric system steadily became the default language of science, technology, and global markets. School children learned its simple logic. Engineers built with its precision, and merchants traded across continents with a shared understanding of quantity. Today, this revolutionary French invention underpins nearly every facet of our interconnected world. From the intricate circuits of microprocessors to the vast distances calculated by space probes, from the precise dosages of medicines to the standardized components of global supply chains, the metric system provides the unseen, unifying grid that makes modern civilization possible. Its triumph is a testament to humanity's enduring quest for universal order, an invisible language of measurement that transcends borders and speaks to all. The triumph of the metric system as a universal language marked a profound shift. But the quest for ever greater precision didn't stop there. Humanity's insatiable drive to understand and control its environment pushed the boundaries of measurement far beyond physical prototypes. The very definitions of our fundamental units began to evolve, moving from tangible objects to immutable constants of nature itself, unlocking an unimaginable era of exactitude. Consider the second, the bedrock of timekeeping. For millennia, it was tied to the Earth's rotation, an inherently imperfect and fluctuating standard. But in the mid-20th century, scientists achieved a revolutionary breakthrough, defining the second not by celestial mechanics, but by the ultra-stable oscillations of a cesium atom. Atomic clocks, marvels of quantum engineering, now tick with a phenomenal accuracy, losing or gaining less than a second over millions of years. This allows for global synchronization, critical to GPS, telecommunications, and deep space navigation, an unseen heartbeat guiding our modern world. Similarly, the meter, once a platinum-iridium bar carefully preserved in a vault, underwent its own radical redefinition. No longer a material artifact vulnerable to wear or cosmic shifts, the meter is now defined by the speed of light in a vacuum, a universal constant. This reimagining means that distance is intrinsically linked to time. Knowing one with absolute precision allows us to determine the other.
Lasers and interferometers harness this principle, enabling engineers to measure vast astronomical distances or microscopically fine movements with breathtaking accuracy. These breakthroughs are not mere academic curiosities. They underpin the quantum realm, enabling technologies that were once science fiction. From the design of advanced microprocessors, where dimensions are measured in nanometers, to the intricate calculations for quantum computing and the detection of gravitational waves, every modern marvel relies on this invisible, profoundly precise grid. This evolution from body parts to fundamental constants illustrates humanity's relentless pursuit of an objective reality, an ever sharper lens through which to perceive, build, and interact with the very fabric of existence.
And so we arrive at the culmination of this epic journey, a realization of how this invisible grid of standardized measurement has become the very foundation of our modern world. From crude approximations using a forearm to the mind-boggling precision of atomic clocks and light-speed-defined meters, measurement has silently and profoundly shaped every facet of human endeavor. It is the silent language connecting engineers designing skyscrapers to astronomers mapping distant galaxies. Consider the intricate dance of global GPS. Satellites orbiting thousands of miles above us transmit signals precisely timed and measured, enabling a device in your hand to pinpoint your location within mere feet. Without the exactitude from fundamental constants, this ubiquitous technology, vital for navigation, logistics, and emergency services, would be impossible. It's a testament to measurement's power to bridge vast distances and integrate complex systems. In advanced engineering, whether crafting microprocessors with features thinner than a human hair, or constructing colossal bridges, absolute precision is paramount. Every rivet, circuit, and structural beam relies on a meticulously defined standard. These are not just practical necessities, they are the bedrock of innovation, pushing the boundaries of what is physically possible. Even at the microscopic level, measurement guides our understanding. Biologists quantify cells, chemists analyze molecular bonds, and physicists explore the subatomic realm, all dependent on ever finer scales. This deep dive into the infinitesimally small, enabled by precise metrology, unlocks breakthroughs in medicine, materials science, and our understanding of life. As we stand on the precipice of quantum computing and artificial intelligence, the demands for precision are reaching unprecedented heights. Manipulating individual atoms and quantum sensors requires a grid of measurement so fine, so stable, it redefines our perception of reality. These are the frontiers where the invisible hand of measurement sculpts our future, enabling technologies that will transform civilization. This journey, from ancient cubits to quantum constants, reveals a fundamental truth. Measurement is not merely a tool, but a profound expression of human ingenuity, our collective desire for order, and our unending quest to understand and master the universe. It is the unseen foundation, the constant rhythm, upon which our entire modern world is built, forever shaping what we can achieve and what we can become. The medieval era's chaotic tower of measures, where commerce stumbled over inconsistent units, could not long withstand the intellectual earthquake of the scientific revolution. A profound shift swept across Europe as brilliant minds turned their gaze outward to the vast, intricate mechanisms of the cosmos. Astronomers grappling with celestial mechanics demanded unprecedented precision. Copernicus's heliocentric model, Kepler's planetary laws, and Galileo's telescopic observations all necessitated measurements of extraordinary accuracy, far beyond the crude standards of yesteryear. Understanding the universe, from a pendulum swing to a planet's orbit, clearly required a language of measure, universal, constant, and independent of human whim. Isaac Newton, through his groundbreaking work on universal gravitation, demonstrated immutable laws governing both earthly and celestial bodies. This grand unified vision required quantification tools, length, mass, and time, to be equally universal and precise.
Philosophers and natural scientists recognized objective truth was intrinsically linked to objective measurement. They envisioned a world where observations were replicated, theories tested, and knowledge built upon verifiable data, free from local custom or royal decree. This era saw improved instruments, telescopes, precise clocks, and standardized thermometers.
The quest was no longer trade facilitation, but unlocking nature's fundamental secrets. Medieval inconsistencies, once an inconvenience, now blocked scientific progress. The demand grew for a system based not on a king's foot or grain weight, but on immutable principles derived from the natural world. A rational grid upon which the universe's true order could finally be mapped. This intellectual awakening set the stage for a revolutionary transformation in how humanity would quantify its world.